Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 26th of April, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar. We'll take a look then at stock markets, energy markets, and then last of all, we'll take a look at some of the coronavirus stats. So we start by looking at the dollar index, remembering this is my weekly, daily, and 60-minute chart. Long-term, medium, and short-term view of the market with the corresponding point and figure targets. If we're below the cloud, we're bearish. If we're above the cloud, we're bullish. It's that simple, really. And so here we see the dollar index is actually just falling lower again, starting to break through support on the cloud on that daily chart. So we're starting to rethink the dollar recovery this year as we start to break lower. So we do still have upside targets here, but for the moment the picture is deteriorating again short term with new lows. Taking a look at the euro against the dollar, we're above 121 this morning, so we're seeing the cloud breaking here in reverse of that dollar chart. So euro starting to look strong against the dollar again. Sterling also looking stronger against that weaker dollar, sitting at 139. Not quite bullish yet on the short-term chart, but medium and long-term trends still good with big upside targets. 146, 150 is this target that's been in place since a year ago. Looking at the euro, sterling nudging 115 this morning, has been as high as 116.50 last week. So we are just seeing a little bit of a fallback there in sentiment against sterling against the euro. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $52,000. A bit of a recovery here. We did dip below the $50,000 mark. A bad week for the cryptocurrency last week with that big downside candle, but still bullish. We have a big upside target, but a new downside target to 29,900. So if we go lower than the low that we've set, we activate that target to around 30,000. A lot of volatility there in Bitcoin. Taking a look at the S&P 500 index, we see here it had a reasonable week last week, looking a little bit like a doji candle on the weekly there. A lot of uncertainty as shows up in the daily chart here, but we are holding cloud support. We did touch cloud support twice last week, so that's good news for the moment, but just watch for a break below that cloud. The NASDAQ 100 index just also testing that cloud. Prices did actually dip below there, but for the moment it's still a bullish picture long term. The futures this morning, we're seeing the S&P future up, down very slightly, the NASDAQ E-mini down 0.2%, so we are just seeing potential for tech stocks to open weak this today. Looking at the VIX volatility, we're up slightly, but really nothing major to worry about with the fear index. The FTSE future down 0.1%, the DAX cash in Germany up 0.7%, the CAC 40 up 0.03%. So these are very small numbers. European markets dead flat. Japan was up slightly, the Hang Seng Index up 0.4%, the Shanghai Composite down 1%, so Chinese stocks just having a bit of a fall there. The Sensex in India, we'll take a look at the coronavirus stats for India in a minute, but the Sensex for India actually was up 1% despite those coronavirus stats. The Aussie market was down slightly on a quiet session with the Anzac Day holiday in force in a lot of states. Looking at the gold price, we sitting a bit lower here this morning, sitting at $17.79. Silver holding the $26 level, and US 10-year yields sitting at 1.57%. Just pulling back slightly, but still bullish on those medium and long-term charts. All eyes on this key level at around 152. We're still a fair way off that. Taking a look at the energy mix, we put out our energy report to clients this morning. We're neutral on crude oil. We're in a bit of a range at the moment, but watch for a break below there. Excuse me. Looking at US nat gas, we're sitting at 272. Looking a bit more bullish there. Coal is up this morning. Again, the trend looking pretty good here. And emissions going to the moon still. We've got a new upside target for emissions, so that's going to be quite key. Pushing ever higher there on the 1 minute charts. We're neutral on gas markets. We saw TTF pull back last week and finding some cloud support, but just looking a little bit mixed. Not a strong recovery. We make a new high, of course, we return to bullish mode. The same is true of TTF. Taking a look at German power, it's looking still pretty strong with good upside targets, so we're bullish on power markets generally this week. The only exception was Nordic power, where we just felt we got targets in both directions, and we are a little bit range bound. The quarterly contract was actually a little bit clearer with good upside targets. Taking a look at COVID cases, we talked about this. India just going through the roof now, 204 cases per million. Remembering that India has a massive population, so 204 cases per million is a lot of cases, and no signs of a let up in this curve. Germany still holding out pretty high. Germany, France still around 10 times the UK level, and if we look at fatalities in India, looking very worrying indeed. In the UK, we're at 0.3%, still holding fairly high in France and Germany. Has come down in Germany, but we're seeing a tick up again, so it's quite key. Greece still a concern as well. When we look at the vaccination rates, Bulgaria at 10% is below. We are seeing case rates now in Europe in the high 20s in terms of vaccinations done. The standout is still the UK and the US at 2/3 of the population now vaccinated, and the Indian vaccination program, although it's only 10%, again it's 10% of a lot of people, and it's pushing up pretty quickly now. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.